Hello guys, welcome to Open Techno. Today we have a very special phone on the channel, the Ulefone X31 Pro A device that you already know from the channel. We've reviewed many RootJet phones, but what makes this particular model special? Because it's a phone that falls halfway between a RootJet phone and a normal phone. This means it keeps all the aesthetics of a RootJet phone. Those frames that are made to protect it from impacts, all the covers made to resist water and dust. But however, we have dimensions and a weight more typical of a normal phone, more portable. After all, to carry it all day in the bag without it being bothersome. In this video, I'll introduce you to the Ulefone X31 Pro and provide an in-depth look at the phone. Let's get started. The aesthetics of a Ulefone is very special. As always, we'll start with that. Oops, I opened a game and we have that for later. Very special because these are special phones that are made to withstand blows, and this one is no exception. It's a phone that's gonna have all its edges with a slightly thicker rubber, so that if we drop it at any time, it can withstand the blows without the need for a specialized case for it. However, what it has is that this phone weighs quite a little, around 300 grams, which is an achievement for a RootJet phone. And then to say that it has a screen of 6.56 inches and a height of 173 millimeters. That is standard dimensions and reasonable weight. All of this is made of rubber. Both the sides and the back, we don't have hard plastics anywhere. Of course, the screen is not going to be rubber. We have quite good camera modules on the back, and then on the top, headphone jack. We have the connector for the typical cases that I will show you later to protect it a little more. An infrared sensor to control the television or the home air conditioning, volume buttons, fingerprint unlock. We also have facial unlock, and then at the bottom, speakers, USB-C charging port at 18W, and on the left side. We would have a slot for the microSD card and also the subscriber identity module, as well as a customizable button to perform the action we want, such as, for example, turning on the flashlight. This is the black color version, but however, you are also going to have an orange version and another in a lime color. The fact that it's RootJet, as I've told you, is that it comes prepared for great adventures. For example, this one has IP68, which allows you to submerge it in water for 30 minutes at a depth of 1.5 meters. And well, let's move on to the screen. The screen is one of the parts that I like the most, especially because the brightness, it has really stood out to me. However, this is not the only thing. We have 6 with 56 inches, an in-plane switching liquid crystal display screen that has 120 Hz. That is a very high refresh rate. So that all our games, navigation, social networks work in a very fluid way. It does not stand out for its great resolution. We have a high definition resolution, which is simply correct. It's not the best on the market, but it's a perfectly valid phone for everyday use. After all, it's not about reading the details of the features here, but about trying it out and liking it. How it works and how it looks. The screen looks good, and as I said, for the type of user who is going to use this device, I think it's more than enough. However, the 120 Hz make it a higher range, but as I was saying, the brightness has caught my attention the most. We have 800 nits, which honestly is really good for a phone. Considering the price of this one, it's going to offer us very good brightness. When we are in outdoor conditions, something we can't overlook with these types of devices is the battery. We have a 6050 mAh battery, which will get us to the end of the day without any problem, even with very intense use. Unlike other RootJet phones with 10,000 mAh batteries lasting several days of intense use, this phone's battery is still very good. With moderate use, it can last 2 days or even a bit more without any problems. To allow us to make getaways, for example, to the countryside, to a place where we can't recharge, but where we have that extended autonomy. To give you an idea, we could last about 330 hours or so in standby, that is, without touching the phone, just carrying it in our pocket, which is absolutely crazy. The charge is 18 watts. It's not the highest on the market, but it's more than enough for today. While we're eating at a restaurant, for example, we give it a quick plug into a fast outlet. And from those 6,000 mAh, we can get, for example, 50% without any major problem. As for the processor, we have an 8-core MediaTek that can go up to 2 with 4 GHz. We have efficiency cores, we have performance cores. The phone manages this automatically. It works very well, as I always tell you, in a phone of today. The processor rarely limits your actions unless intended. An intense game with top-tier graphics, but I've played it. I've downloaded PUBG, and honestly, it's worked well with the high-quality graphics package. The phone works smoothly and can handle 120 Hz without any issues. I have no complaints. And then also tell you about the RAM and storage configuration. In this case, we have 8 GB of RAM and 256 of storage, a standard configuration that we have no complaints about. It works well. Multitasking allows multiple applications to run simultaneously. And for storage, we can extend if we need more than those 256 GB with a micro-secure digital card up to 2 TB of memory, which I think is already, well, more than enough. Let's talk about cameras. We have a main camera of 64 megapixels. We have another night one of 25 and a macro of 2 megapixels cameras that the main one works quite well in light conditions. I'll tell you the price later, but it adapts quite well to what this phone is worth. And then, of course, as it could not be otherwise, an adventurous phone cannot be without a night vision camera that can serve us for. Hey, we're in the forest, we don't have any light, so we take a picture of an insect, an animal, whatever, without any kind of problem and without the need to turn on a flash. Hey, then we have that macro lens that allows us to take closer photos, but it doesn't have much resolution either. But hey, to take a small memento of anything, it's perfectly fine for us. Then, on the other hand, we have recording up to 2000, we don't reach 4000, but also in terms of resolution, more than enough. Very happy. The front camera is 16 megapixels, which for taking selfies and video calls is in the mid-range. And as I always tell you, for this price range, I advance you 240 euros. Well, we're not going to have a high-end camera either, much less in these types of devices, which focus more on the type of user they are aimed at. Rural users. Adventurous people who, well, neglect their mobile more and don't want to have something delicate. However, well, you get a very complete mobile with that big battery. In terms of connectivity, it's worth noting that we have a phone with 5G, so it's already prepared for all types of mobile networks and to support the maximum browsing speed. As for the operating system, we have Android 14 with a very light customization layer. It is true that we have the icons of this quick access menu a little bit changed, but however, then what is the usability of the mobile is practically native Android. So in this aspect, no problem at all. A couple of downloaded applications come with it, Netflix and also utilities specific to the mobile, like that remote control. Or also some applications and shortcuts to, for example, to the nightlight, icon size or loading animation. Anyway, it's some special little things that this mobile offers us. Very important things that come included with the mobile. I'm going to say it in this section. We have a screen that is already protected. We have a protective glass, which I think is important to say. So you don't buy one at the same time as the mobile. Also, but let me tell you that with the phone, we get a strap to be able to tie it at the bottom and tie it to our wrist, for example. If we are going through an area where it could fall, taking some photos, and hey, we want to hold it more tightly. And also, I'm going to show you this case that they sent us, the armor case that we have. Very similar for all Ulefone devices. It's a very simple case to use. We simply put the phone in the corners and press on the top until we hear that click. There the case would be fully installed, and now we could adapt, for example, the carabiner that comes sliding in this way, and now allowing us to go on a hike and tie the mobile to the backpack or to the belt loop of the pants, wherever you prefer. But hey, we have this case that is going to allow us a lot of flexibility with these Ulefone phones. Well, it's not the first time you've seen it. You already know it, right? But hey, many of you will want to know my conclusion. My conclusion is that it's a phone that is very much worth it. We have a very low price, possibly the lowest of all the root jet phones we've seen on the channel. However, we keep the best of this field and also the aesthetics of a normal phone. And hey, if you want a sturdy phone that serves you for everything and is very complete, then this is a great option. The Ulefone X31 Pro in short is a phone that I liked a lot, but I also want to know your opinion. Leave me below in the comments if you liked it, if you found it interesting, if you prefer a normal phone, a root jet phone. Of the tough ones, of the fat ones, of those with a lot of battery, would you stick with this mid-range, the Ulefone X31 Pro? That's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and see you next time. Goodbye.